Hi, Beth, and whoever else might be listening to this. Um, so this is I guess, my third installment of these little talks. And what we're going to be discussing today is what I title A Sword, Not Peace. And this comes from Matthew 10, verses 34 through 36. So let's get started. The main question that this text revolves around is in the verse where Jesus said, "Do not suppose that I have come to bring peace to the earth. I did not come to bring peace, but a sword." First of all, this is going to be a little bit shorter than the other ones because it's relatively kind of easy to piece together. It would seem to be that this verse contradicts that Jesus, first of all, is referred to as the Prince of Peace, and that secondly, he came to bring peace on earth, goodwill to men. And yet here Jesus specifically says that he did not come to bring peace, but a sword. In this saying that Jesus says here, he's referring actually to his first coming. The peace that he offers in this first coming is that of peace with God, and that's via his reconciling work on the cross. However, Jesus does not want his believers to be of the persuasion that he came to set up a kingdom of peace that would reign on earth. That was not the purpose of his first coming. The actual Greek word Jesus uses here, that is translated here as bring, means to insert into. So Jesus' first coming, he says, would not insert peace into the earth, but was actually between God and man. It is Jesus' second coming whereby he will establish his kingdom, and peace will then be inserted into the earth. So let's again look at the context of this verse. Matthew 10 contains Jesus' instructions to his disciples concerning a special preaching tour he was sending them on. So this is not to be confused with his later sending out the 70 or even to the Great Commission. This was a temporary mission that Jesus was sending his disciples on. First of all, it was only to the house of Israel, not to anyone else. He said, "Do not go to the Gentiles or the Samaritans, only to the house of Israel." Remember that the gospel, everything is to the Jew first and then to the Gentile. And the purpose of him sending these disciples out was designed to announce the kingdom of heaven was near or at hand. And he gave them the credentials in verse 1. It says he gave them authority to drive out evil spirits and to heal the sick. But he also told them, expect persecution. And a lot of what we see in chapter 10 is telling the disciples, hey, don't expect that they're going to receive this message. Most of them probably will not, and you will be persecuted for this message of the kingdom of heaven being near or at hand. And in these verses, Jesus is setting them straight regarding a very, very common messianic interpretation of that day. During that time, it was believed that Messiah would free the Jews from Roman authority and usher in the messianic kingdom of peace. This perception was very prevalent throughout Judea at that time, and the Jewish people expectation was that is what the Messiah would do. So Jesus was in essence kind of saying, hey, let me set you straight about this messianic expectation. He's nullifying that expectation by stating that this is not his purpose in coming this first time. In fact, Jesus clarifies further and says that his coming this time would actually bring a sword. Now, Jesus, first of all, is not advocating violence here. Sword here means something that cuts in half and divides. So Jesus is warning his disciples that Jesus and the gospel message would bring division, especially in families. Basic conventional norms and loyalties would be shattered by the unfettered proclamation of the gospel. When that gospel is truthfully and completely disseminated, then your conventional norms and loyalties are going to be shattered by that. There's no neutrality of mutual toleration that exists when the true message of the kingdom is declared. Sorry for that little spelling error there. When the true message of the kingdom is declared, Jesus is proclaiming his kingship. No man, he says, enters by any other way. Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. This message, therefore, cuts in half and divides even in families. So he's not saying that he's coming to purposely bring discord and purposely bring division, but the message is so, I don't want to say riveting, but it is so impactful that its natural result is to divide. It is setting apart the sheep from the goats. And there's no neutrality here. And so therefore, it is like a sword because it's coming in and it's cutting. And it's cutting those pieces apart. And that's what happens. I have a friend who recently became a Christian, well, really about 2 to 3 years ago, and has been married for approximately 12, 13 years. And unfortunately, the wife just cannot handle his Christianity and has just left him. So we see right there. Now, does Jesus want that to be the case? Does he want to see their marriage split up? Of course not. But it's only natural that when the truth comes in, even into a household, it will be like a sword and it will cut apart. It will cut and divide into two. It cuts and divides the sheep from the goats. And so therefore he said, I didn't bring to peace. My message will not bring peace in that case. My true message will bring a sword. So I hope that explains and helps you to understand this verse a little better. And looking forward to our next time together. Bye.